What's good, man? Y'all already know what it is, man. And we back with another video, man. And this time we setting this premiere up for y'all. So if y'all in the chat room, man, make sure y'all hit that like, share, and subscribe, man. And make sure you put something in the chat to let us know you in here, man. I'm gonna be in the chat, so y'all already know how we do. We're gonna hold this conversation. Now, what we about to react to and what we about to talk about is another video with Akademiks and Wack 100. This time, 1090 Jake ends up on the live stream. Now they're talking about all of this fuss going on about Larry Hoover. Now y'all know Larry Hoover had his sentence communicated. I probably said that wrong. By Donald Trump, where basically his federal charges were actually, or his federal sentence was actually wiped away. Now he's still in the state, but once that happened, there was an article that came out, and a lot of people start talking about whether or not, if this article was real, saying that Larry Hoover had indeed told on somebody who actually clapped him back in 1968. Now that was a long ass time ago. I wasn't even born yet. But at the end of the day, 1090 Jake picked this up, ran with it, and he actually called Larry Hoover a rat. Now, Wack 100 has been speaking out about this and saying you can't call somebody that based solely off of a newspaper article that you need paperwork. Let's see how this play was ran. Even though Wack said he don't run plays, let's see how this play actually was ran on DJ Akademiks' platform, and let's see what they talking about. Let's get it.
Wack.
What up, bro?
Wack, we were calling you. We were going through. We seen that you interviewed. By the way, I'm on stream. We seen that you interviewed the guy in the Larry Hoover case.
Yeah.
And they were saying that Larry Hoover might have cooperated, but you're the leader of the exposers. But this time you exposed that there was nothing to expose. That Larry Hoover is not a cooperant because the guy said that.
You know the crazy part about it is I keep telling people the exposers work both ways. Sometimes we fix it, clean up a situation, but you know the crazy part about it is them people, whoever they weirdos are. I don't know if they get mad because it's me, but they didn't like the fact that I went in and did that. They didn't like the fact that I helped kind of like
clear it up.
Yeah, put a different light. Well, I didn't bring it up. A Chicago-based app called Squid 8. I got into it with a dude real bad the other day. I know from up, he hit me, and he's like a J Prince flunky. But I like, hey, bro, Squid 8 is the one that exposed it. I even went to DM Squid 8 because I don't know the dudes, and they told me, yeah, they got the information from up top. All this came from Chicago.
So in Wack fashion, Wack is stating, just like in the situation with Nip and the whole conversation that we ended up having with Wack 100 over here at the Ruler Report, Wack is stating that he ended up getting information from a small blog on Instagram, and that's how he began to talk about it when people began to call him out for even speaking on it. Now, I did see it prior to hearing Wack speak on it, and I seen Wack make a post on Instagram saying that he was going to address it on Clubhouse later on that night. But we all know that when Wack grabs something, the volume of him talking about it, it just drowns out anybody else that's talking about it. And like I told Wack, I mean, that's something that he just got to accept. I mean, we can't help it that when you talk about something, it's amplified. You feel what I'm saying?
And so what I did, I read it, and it was a newspaper article, so I kind of debunked it based on that. I didn't acknowledge a newspaper article as court documents. So then 1090 Jake responds. He goes and digs deeper and finds another newspaper article and tries to stand on it like that. I responded out with finding the dude that actually shot Larry Hoover.
Wow.
And the James Highsmith, I think is his name, and interviewed him, and that's up on the Hunter Show YouTube channel. And he broke down what he accounts of it, what people did or didn't do. They got mad about that. They said that I found the paperwork, sent it to the Chicago-based app, had them posted so I can respond in a good way, and then I paid 1090 to respond in a bad way, and then I strategically went and got the shooter. Like, these dudes is crazy.
I don't know about him strategically going to get the guy who allegedly popped Larry Hoover, but I'm gonna be honest with you, Wack. It does seem as though, like, okay, 1090, we're gonna play good cop, bad cop on this. I'm gonna go against the people that's saying like Larry Hoover did this, you know what I mean, and saying that he told on somebody, and then you keep pushing the line that you pushing as far as saying that he did tell or he did cooperate, you know what I mean, and we're gonna create the content. I'm not saying that's what he did. And this is how I talked the last time, and this is what got us talking the last time. I'm not saying that's what you did, but again, based off of past narratives that were being pushed about Wack 100, people would think that automatically, like, okay, they're running another play.
But I'm gonna tell you this: it's not over with. 1090's gonna respond. He has something that I know he has.
Does he have the work?
He got some work, but he has a different kind of work, not the work relating to Larry Hoover telling. I think if I know 1090 is filing to get the work from 1968 to see if this one individual, James Highsmith, is telling the truth, because he's questioning if dude has been pressured to say the things he's saying.
Now,
and he has reason. He has reason to believe he is.
Now, here's the thing. So I feel like this is like a two-pronged, issue. I think some people, like, because of Larry Hoover's age, this and third, they feel like this isn't a conversation that should be had. Okay?
Nah, ain't nobody. I will respectfully say, look, I ain't never had nothing against Larry Hoover. I've never disrespected Larry Hoover. I don't really know him. I don't really know his story. I know it partially. I know what got him the time. You know, I was caught up in the Larry Hoover tapes, which the lady that I was working with has, that's never been seen. But you can't. There's no. We talk about Tupac's rape. We talk about Biggie Smalls. The weird shit he said in his music that we didn't really realize till decades later. So it is what it is.
I don't necessarily feel like that age should restrict people from actually looking into this if the information is put out there, especially people that's in the media, in the blog spaces and podcast spaces that cover these types of things. I don't think that there is an age limit that, you know, an individual can't be like, investigated as if into if they actually cooperated or not, especially when we talking about somebody who's on the level of a Larry Hoover. Like, come on, cuz, like, we definitely gonna look into, like, okay, is this real? Is this true? Or, especially when we got 1090 Jake actually putting it out there, because a lot of people would like to actually prove whether or not if what 1090 Jake is saying is true or not. Most people would possibly want to prove 1090 Jake wrong in this situation, because, you know, I'm one of those people that don't jump the gun on this, like ratting and telling without paperwork. And that's kind of what he did based off of a newspaper article. But let's keep going.
If you on that pedestal, if you being placed up there with, you know, on some gangster shit, you know, hey, if this is what happened, then people going to question the whole movement of what it's supposed to be. So I get it. Remember, to the side of Crips is Bloods, to the side of Bloods is Crips. So, you know, GD's got an opposition. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So hold on.
GD's, you get what I'm saying?
Do you think this? So I don't know where your angle is. Do you think that 1090 Jake put out fake work, or you just think, hey?
No. I think 1090 moved based upon the newspaper articles. He went and found other newspaper articles to support the original one that was out. So what I did was say,
so Wack, you're not down to stand on the idea that he's not a snitch. You're just saying you don't have the right work to call him a snitch.
Yeah, I'm saying as of right now,
yeah,
what you guys are basing it upon is not credible. Well, it's credible, but we don't use newspaper articles in place of court documents. We watched the mob control the newspaper articles for decades. Like,
Wack is playing. You know what? And I thought about this after our interview too. Like, have y'all noticed that Wack is like kind of changing his tone on a lot of different things? And I'm not saying like just necessarily in this situation, but like even how he's talking, even how he's interacting with how he interacted with me, but also how he's been interacting with everybody since then. It seems as though Wack is trying to change the narrative that people have been putting out there about him in the last like year or two. You know what I mean? It's on, or even longer than that. But especially like in the last year, it's really gotten real loud about, you know, people's perception and their opinion of Wack. Not saying that Wack cares about people's opinion, but now it seems as though Wack is changing his tune just a little bit. He's being real cautious about this Larry Hoover situation, which, I mean, I think that's the position that he should have took in this situation. But it's coming off of being a little different. I'm trying to, let me see, like, let's keep that in mind, like, going forward. Not just for this live, I mean, this broadcast or this premiere, but just going forward when we react to Wack. Let's just put that in our back pocket and sit on that for a minute.
They'll make it say what they wanted to say. Now, is the newspaper article a lie? Could be. Is it telling the truth? It could be. 1090 already has one angle, but I know him. He's like, it's a 50% angle that still won't prove whether Larry Hoover did or didn't. It'll just shed some light on the individual. I think he has filed for all those court documents, and he's waiting to get those, and then he's going to come in, and he's going to come at me or come at the situation.
And then, okay, even with that being said, why didn't, because Wack and his team, they get paperwork. They be having paperwork all the time. And maybe Wack could say it sometime during this like conversation, because I watched a little bit of clip when they started talking, but I stopped watching it because I wanted to give a natural reaction to it, right? But my question was going to be, 1090 Jackie is ordering the paperwork. He probably waiting on the paperwork to come. This is what Wack is saying. But Wack and his team deals with paperwork all the time. Why isn't Wack and his team getting this paperwork? I'm not saying they should. I ain't saying they shouldn't. I'm just presenting the question. What are they waiting for 1090J to release the paperwork and then, you know, then they'll read it? Or this one is a little tricky, y'all.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. If you get proven that there is paperwork that Larry Hoover told authorities who shot him, will you apologize to 1090 Jake? And also,
well, it's not about an apology. It's about me. It's me.
Wack is never gonna apologize to anybody. Cut it out, Act.
Will you look at Larry Hoover like he's a rat? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, yo, what I've seen on the internet, the GDs are saying, y'all better shut up about this man, because we'll go slide on him.
Well, we don't. Ain't nobody's worried about that. Nobody cares about what people are saying we better do, because at the end of the day, if I slip and fall, they're going to talk about me. If some work come out on me, they're going to talk about me. That we don't give a fuck about none of that, right? Me personally, again, I've been standing in the position of defending Larry Hoover since he came out. You know what I'm saying? I've been defending him. I've been debunking it, right? If me and 1090 was on the same side of it, this shit would be going a whole different way. And I know 1090's approach. I know what his response is going to be. I know why I haven't heard him respond. He could respond now with something that I know he have, because I haven't. You know, it ain't that I'm in the blind of everything that's going on with it.
You sound like a politician. Is Larry Hoover a rat or not, man?
Right. See, even Ack is noticing there's a different tone in Wack 100 right now. Like, we know Wack really, like, I ain't saying, okay, let me put it this way. I don't know nothing about Wack personally as far as like fear or nothing like that, but I will say he has never been afraid online to say anything about anybody. So I'm not even going to say that he's afraid to speak on this in the way or in the light that he wants to, right? I mean, a lot of other people might say that. That's not what I'm going to say, though. What I'm going to say is I'm noticing a different approach to this Larry Hoover situation. What's going on, Wack? What's going on with you? Hey, Spies, get this to Wack and tell him I want to know what's going on with him, man. Like, not my Spies, Wack 100 Spies, the ones that sent him the last video. I just want what's going on. I should just, matter of fact, once I'm done with this, I might even hit him up in on the DM and see if I can get a response. Like, hey, Wack, I see you taking a different approach in this Larry Hoover situation. Like, what's that about? Like, you know, I just want a statement. You know what I mean? Something I can take back to the ruler gang. Y'all feel me?
Like, come on, bro.
As of right now, we can't say he is because we don't have those actual court documents.
Wow,
right,
you talking like a lawyer. Hold on. Could you say either way definitively? Would you put your reputation on the line that he's not a rat?
I don't put my reputation on the line for no man or woman about telling if there's a court situation in until I read the court documents. I ain't like these dudes that say, based upon who he is or who people say he is. Because let's be real, 98% of the people we hear talking about Larry Hoover ain't even met Larry Hoover. Larry Hoover been in jail longer than they've been living, right? They don't even know the man like that, right? But what I'm saying is I do know it was a real situation. Dude confirmed that. The shooter confirmed that. I do know
so
somebody
if the
got
word
shot.
come out and it says Larry Hoover told, will you call Larry Hoover a rat? Just
Hey, Act trying to stand on business. Like, he want to, because y'all know Wack is good at not answering the question the way that you want him to answer it. Wack is going to continuously, and I learned that from having a one-on-one conversation with him. Wack is going to continuously turn and spin, and whatever he wants to do, he's going to answer it the way that he wants to answer it, not the way that you want him to answer it. And Ack is trying, like, listen, I'm coming right back. If you find this out, are you going to call him what you know what I mean, what people saying he is?
just like how you call Big Meech a rat.
Well, the work is going to call him that.
Okay. But
Well,
if the
are
work
you gonna
says
call
that,
him
will
that?
you adopt it and stick by the work?
I don't never go against the work act. It is what it is.
How come Wack
Truth could never be considered disrespect.
Wack can't say yes or no? Like,
But right now, my whole disposition being you're talking based upon a newspaper article, not a court document. Now, the minute a police report, a court document is there in front of us,
Let me ask
and
you a
it
question,
reads,
though. If
that's what happened, then that's what that is.
Wait. Yeah, but if you're saying, okay, the newspaper could lie, why can't the police
You
lie?
can't base upon a newspaper article.
Yeah, but why can't the police lie, though?
Well, a court document is if you're in court and you giving a statement, and yes, they can, but if you giving a statement and
In a
and you're
police
not
report, it wouldn't
in-
be at court at that point. Could you use a police report to say somebody's a snitch? Because it looks like that newspaper article was quoting a police report,
Yeah, but it's
and the police could lie.
No. They're not saying that's a published police report. This is just them reporting. Like, for instance, in the same newspaper article, they reported that the James Hightower guy or Highsmith was from a certain gang, which he's not from that gang.
and to Larry Hoover's credit, just in case, back in '68, the way that things was being printed about certain individuals, especially people of color, was a lot different. The dailies was actually running Chicago back in the day. The Irish had the police. I mean, and this ain't nothing against Irish. This is just the truth. The Irish people, including the underworld Irish people, had the police department on lock, as well as the mafia had a lot of their hands in a lot of things that the police department was doing too. It was a lot of like corruption within the police department and law enforcement back in the day in Chicago. So their motives, because you got to think Larry Hoover was a powerful young man even as a teenager. So their motives for having that article written that way possibly could have been, a number of things against Larry Hoover. Not saying that that's what happened, but it's a possibility, and that's why we just can't go off of the paperwork. I mean, I'm sorry, we can't just go off of the article. We got to go off of what the paperwork says. To some of y'all gonna be like, well, why do it matter? But to us that, cover this type of content, to clear the man's name, let's see the paperwork. And I mean, if what everybody is saying, it ain't true, the paperwork should just say that. We can, exonerate the man and keep moving on and pressing that, hopefully he get free.
He was never from that gang. So, you know that newspaper shit, you can't really,
On top of that, though, I'm pretty sure the people of Chicago, some people that's involved in law enforcement or media, the powers that be, it's somebody who's not too happy with what Trump did for Larry Hoover, and then the thought of him actually getting out, you feel what I'm saying, may even be, make it even more trickier.
You can't say it's not true, but you can't use it as a court document. Not where I come from. Now, I can't say what that court document is going to say. 1090 is going to have to go pull that court document, and then we can go from there. I will tell you this. I haven't attempted to obtain the court document personally.
Why?
Right? And why I haven't attempted to obtain the court document is because I really don't want the man to be a snitch. You get what I'm saying?
That's a little different coming from Wack, though. Not wanting to obtain, okay, so maybe this is how Wack playing his hand. Okay, this might be different. And then Wack always talks about politics. So maybe the politics is involved. I hate to put this out there like this, right? And Wack can correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe the politics is playing a role in this. And when I say that, let me explain what I mean by that. What I mean by that is maybe Wack and somebody that Wack is cool with, you know what I mean, that Wack actually has a real relationship with, is tied to Larry Hoover, and they may be asking Wack to, hey, Wack, for me, could you fall back on this one and let 1090 Jake do that? Like, we don't want you to do it. If it come out, you go ahead and talk about it, but as far as you going to get the paperwork and stuff like that, kind of just fall back on it. That maybe, I don't know, because I'm trying to figure out, is this selective politicking? I'm just trying to figure it out.
So I'm leaving it as it goes. I'm defending it as I can. And right now I'm in a position where I can defend Larry Hoover against a newspaper article. So am I showing some sort of favoritism or biases? Yes, I am, because I'm not.
Wack is selective politicking.
Not going to the extent to really go find that. Now, 1090 on the other hand, because I went and found the shooter and did an interview, and the shooter totally debunked what he was saying, I know 1090 ain't, he like you, he like me, he ain't gonna lay down. I do know, and the reason why I know he's working, because there is another document.
Wait, who's working? Who's working?
1090 is working for sure. He's out. He's trying to get the real fucking paperwork from 1968. The reason why...
Chat, I'm putting 1090 Jake on the phone, chat. Let's get to the fuckery. I'm gonna put both of them on the phone. We're gonna merge this motherfucking call. Hold on. I'm sorry, Wack. We gotta put both of y'all on the phone. 1090 answer, nigga. 1090 answer. We're gonna figure out...
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Hey, I like what Act doing though, man. Hey, if you're gonna get it, if you're gonna get the content, get the goddamn content, man. Let's go, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. We trying to do our thing over here, man. Hit that like button. Fuck with me.
The person you're
right, I respect his hand as I
Wack was still on the other line talking.
I respect yours, Act, when it comes to us digging. Like, if I know Wack Act is digging,
yeah,
and I know I've dug and found something,
yeah.
I know you're going to find it too, right?
I'm going to find it.
If Act...
Let's get this shit going on, man. I ain't going to lie, man. I think Larry Hoover got a lot of fear in people's hearts, man. They ain't trying to fuck around with no Larry Hoover. I love the GDs. I never seen Wack talking to me like a lawyer right now. When it comes to Nipsey, he'd be like, "That's a fact."
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Favor of Mr. Hoover, he's gonna put that with this other document that I have that shows there's a rat involved,
tonight he
and
calling
he's gonna
back
stick
in.
a fork in it, and niggas gonna have to run for the hills. This is a fact.
Oh shit! Hold on. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right, we getting 1090 J going here. We gotta get to the fucking work. Yo, we got 1090's on the phone, Wack. We got 1090.
There you go.
We got 1090 on the phone.
I'm gonna repeat what I just said, right?
We just want to know, is he a rat? Because here's the thing, the GD.
Hey, Act be drinking early. I wish I had that kind of job where I can, you know what, I'm gonna wake up, play with my dogs, check on my construction. You know what I'm saying? Get on live stream, talk shit about everybody else, and while I'm doing that, sip a little Henny.
GDs are upset. The GDs, they're in the door.
I'm going to repeat what I said. 1090 reported on the newspaper article. He even went further to dig and find a secondary newspaper article to support the first one. I responded with the shooter and said, well, I'm not going to use a newspaper article in place of a court document. Now, I know I have a document that 1090 could use to kind of debunk some shit, and I know if I got it, he has it. And the fact that he has it lets me know I think he's digging or waiting to get the 1968 document of Larry Hoover, what happened in court, and then I think he's going to come with all of it. If that document
I ain't gonna lie though, you are backpedaling.
the newspaper article, then it's a problem.
Wow.
Hey, Act calling him out on this bullshit today. Let's go, Act.
Now, me personally,
wait, Wack, I love you, but you backpedaling. I heard you. I heard you.
The 1968.
I'm mad my mic wasn't loud enough when I did the interview with him, man. Somebody told me to turn my mic up, but I had updated my computer, so I had to actually go into my computer settings to turn it up. It wasn't my OBS system; it was the actual computer system. But yeah, Act calling him out on it. Wack on here backpedaling and selective politicking, y'all.
Document.
Hold on, Wack. I love you, but you backpedaling a little bit. I heard you.
I'm not backpedaling.
I heard you on Clubhouse, and you basically reamed out 1090, basically saying that it was you didn't say he got fake paperwork, but you were saying he jumped the gun.
No, he don't got. He's basing it upon a newspaper article, right? But I know he has some real paperwork based upon something else, and the fact that he hasn't come with that lets me know that nigga don't want the short clip. He's waiting to see if he's going to turn that into an extended clip. So if he goes and pulls court documents and support a newspaper clip, everybody's going to have to take a seat.
Wait.
I know what he's like now.
But Wack, if you're admitting that he has some type of work, you're basically admitting that Larry Hoover's a rat. Is he a rat or not?
The work, the court document he actually has isn't necessarily on Larry Hoover, but he could use it if he want to right now to kind of discredit what I use to clear Larry Hoover.
Wait, let me ask you a question.
It's just to do it lets me know he's just working to get it all.
Let me ask you a question, because I'm going to be honest with you. When it came to Big Meech, niggas violated Big Meech in 20 seconds.
No.
It didn't take no time. They got Big Meech up out of here quick. But they also had evidence, paperwork, Tammy Gowans and all that type of stuff too, though. They didn't just come out with no newspaper article.
No,
is there some type of fear about the Gangster Disciples, the reputation, and Larry Hoover?
No, it's no fear.
Because I've never seen people jump on 1090 who usually when he's saying something, he'll roll shit out in faces. We've seen it with Boston Rich.
1090 knows.
By the way, 1090's on the phone. 1090, you here, bro?
1090 knows that if they find anything on him, they gonna light his ass up, as is me, right? Now, I'm gonna be real with you, right? Could I go dig and look for the document? I can't. Have I? No. So this is kind of my way of showing a little respect to the old man. Now, 1090 doing something he shouldn't be doing. No, not at all. He's being a journalist, and we ain't discriminated against anybody else when they can't anybody fucking else. So no man is bigger in the program. It's how he coming, right? And he ain't wrong for that. I know what his play is, right? Because he hasn't responded in the way that I know he could have responded. I know he had something he could have responded, and the fact that he hasn't, he said, you know what? I'm not going to hit him with lunch. I'm going to hit these motherfuckers with the whole kitchen sink. And but that's the determining factor.
So if Wack know that 1090 got this like alleged like hidden information that, okay, I ain't released this yet because I'm waiting for the rest of the stuff. You know what I mean? I'm just wondering what's stopping Wack from talking about what allegedly 1090 Jake got. Like Wack is moving real different with this Larry Hoover situation. I don't want to say it's because of the GDs, man. I just don't want to say that. Don't ask me why I don't want to say that. I just don't want to say that.
That is when the 1968 paperwork actually comes back to say what really did and didn't occur.
Hey, wait, 1090, are you on the line?
Yeah, what's up?
Yo, let me just ask you in plain words, because Wack just gave me the longest Johnny Cochran message.
No, I'm telling you what
is a guy a rat or not? I look to y'all I look to the Hunter side and the exposers and 1090. Who got the work? Is he a rat or not?
No, at this point, he can't stand on it based on a court document because he doesn't have that.
But hold on, 1090 has to stand on what he said though earlier in this whole entire situation. 1090 Jake actually came out with a video, and it's titled "Larry Hoover, the Gangster Disciple founder who told after being SHOT." He got to stand on that if he don't stand on nothing else. He got to stand on that. So we need for 1090 Jake to answer this question. Wack, we don't need you to answer the question for 1090 Jake. I want to hear 1090 Jake answer.
I know what this crazy motherfucker got. He could respond, and I'm telling you, the fact that he has not responded in the way that I know he could, based on something to kind of debunk or discredit something, I think he's waiting on that to just take a fork in the whole situation. I hope it comes back.
See, the fact that Wack, and this is what I'm gonna say, Wack, the fact that you answering the questions that Akademiks is asking 1090 Jake is gonna make people think that you and 1090 Jake is running the play, which I'm not saying that, but that's what's gonna make people say that because you're answering the questions for. Let 1090 Jake answer the question.
In favor of Larry. But right now, I know what he's doing. I know if he knows me like I know him.
Hey, 1090, since we have you on here officially, because I'm going to be honest with you, and I've seen a lot of people send me this, and they says your reputation, I think you went through this before where your reputation becomes
We're going to see how long before Wack start
people
talking.
People are wondering if you're either jumping the gun or you're lying, right?
Nah, I wouldn't say his reputation.
Man, he's talking to 1090 though, bro. Like, come on, Wack. We need to hear 1090 stand up for his own self. Like, Mr. Baloney has to answer this. Bobby Hill has to come on here and say, listen, you made this video. Are you standing on what you said in that video that you made? It's a 13-minute video. It's at 225,000 views. Are you still standing on what you said 4 days ago?
It's reputation.
My reputation can't be in limbo because people have favoritism.
There we go.
Right?
Talk about it.
So the thing is,
Selective
they're
politicking.
talking about
Selective politicking.
My reputation isn't on the line in this situation, right? So, Wack, where did this shit start from? Who was the one that originally posted this? Because people,
It was an app called Squid 8 from Chicago.
right? So Act.
Yeah.
This hit came from Chicago itself.
It didn't come.
Somebody from Chicago.
So you didn't conjure this up?
No, not at all.
Man, somebody from Chicago did this, and somebody from LA sent it to me and said, "Hey, is this shit real?" So what I did was I looked into it. I found articles saying the same shit as whoever from Chicago posted it, right? That was a Chicago blog that posted that. So that came from the city of Chicago.
You go,
The reason they not putting a face on it is because they know what comes with it. That's the same reason James Highsmith isn't going to speak against Larry Hoover. He still lives in fucking Chicago.
So James Highsmith is scared to speak against Larry Hoover because he still lives in Chicago and somebody might do something to him for him telling the people. Like in my mind, like this if this really happened to James Highsmith and Larry Hoover actually told him, first and foremost, did he go to jail? Secondly, when you went to jail, did they say, like, it seemed like it would have already been out there. When he would have got to the Cook County jail, he was like, yeah, Larry Hoover told on me. He snitched on. I mean, we would have been heard this. It's just awful funny that this newspaper article surfaces after Trump, you know what I mean, dismisses basically the remainder of his federal sentence.
Really?
Now, when I ran the content, the interview I ran, it was a great piece to protect Mr. Hoover. But
was it factual though, Wack? I know you would run no fake content. The guy who said Larry Hoover never told on me.
Here's the thing. I am not this individual. These men are in their 70s. All I can do is go over that newspaper clipping and ask him, was it factual? What does he account what happened that day? Which is up on my page, right? So I let him answer. But what I'm telling you is one thing about it. Like when you got two motherfuckers at the chessboard, we kind of know what each other's up to based upon our movement and based upon the moves he hasn't made. Then that lets me know what 1090's up to.
So,
right?
Wack, I'm gonna ask you again. If 1090 come with the work, and it shows that Larry Hoover may have done such, will you stand on the Hunter side and say, hey, despite me having a conversation with the man who claimed, Larry Hoover never told on him, the work says otherwise, and Larry Hoover is a rat. Will you say
1090 can answer that. I'm always going to go off to work. He know that.
So, hey, Wack, let me ask you, right? Because you just said you always going to go off to work, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go off to work.
If you because you don't live in California State Prison, so if word comes out that somebody snitched, right? And you go and ask the person that did the shooting, is what he says going to matter? Or is the paperwork?
No. The paperwork is going to call the last shot.
Because the shooter can get paid off to say anything, right?
Well, people can get paid off. People can get intimidated. People can be persuaded.
Right.
But the paperwork is the paperwork, regardless of who got paid off or whatever. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. Like, if Larry Hoover said in the paperwork that this man told on him, I'm sorry. This man is the one who SHOT'd him, shot him. Then at the end of the day, that's what's going to actually determine if he actually cooperated or not. All this other talk we doing really is irrelevant.
Hold on. Now watch this act. You got to remember. You got to remember, and the world has to remember. But you got to know. Because if it was the me and your thing, and we was reading the same way, we know we're going to find, whatever you find, I can find, right? So I'm telling you, based upon me knowing 1090 and how he moves and knowing what I got, I'm assuming, right? And actually, I'm not going to assume. I know he has a certain document and he just hasn't used it. So when I ask myself, well, why hasn't he fired the shot? I'm saying he's waiting to get back those 1968 documents. So I'm going to ask you, 1090, is there a certain document that's in your possession that you could have responded with, but you haven't yet?
Absolutely.
There you go, Ack. I'm telling you, like, nigga, we chess players. I know.
But okay, if that's the case, where is that document? Maybe I need to go find my own damn documents. But now I would like to see that document as well. Like, I guess we're gonna have to wait until 1090 Jake gets the rest of the paperwork. But it sounds like Wack 100 is also saying he's seen this other document as well. Is this other document an official document from law enforcement that's showing that he actually cooperated? Like, what's going on, man? Are we hiding the fact that the chairman Larry Hoover actually told, or what? Like, what's what here? Are we exposing rats or not? What's going on?
Chess players, right? Let me ask you a question, Wack.
What's up?
You Pyru. If you hear one of the big homies in Pyru got some shit on his name, are you gonna wait for me to go get it, or are you gonna go get it?
Oh no, I'm definitely gonna go get it.
So why the GDs ain't going to the Chicago courthouse to prove that Larry Hoover ain't got no fucking paperwork?
And you want me to answer that question truthfully?
I want you to answer that question honestly.
For the same reason that I haven't. They
don't want it to. You feel me?
Well, I don't. I'm gonna be real. Like,
for the same reason Wack ain't went and got it, because they don't want it to be true. Say it ain't so. The GDs is in the dough. Well, maybe the GDs need to walk through the courthouse, though, and get this paperwork, because 1090 Jake is trying to assassinate the character of one Larry Hoover.
Like, in this world, and I'm going to keep it real and act, I think you would understand this shit. In this world, when it comes to some people and some things, there's going to be selective politicking there, right? To where if it was these other people, you would do it. If it's Big Meats, you would do it, as if Ack is saying, but now that it's Larry Hoover, you know, you're not doing it. And it's not necessarily, some situations could be out of fear, which is what 1090 is suggesting with James Highsmith. Maybe he changed his story out of fear. And I'm going to be real. I'm going to just say it. If 1090 pulls that paperwork from 1968 and it's not in favor of Larry Hoover, that other piece that I know he probably has, it's going to blow the doors off of everything. It's game over at that point. I know if I got it, he has to have it.
Hold on, Wack.
I know if my...
Will you talk about him like how I've heard you discuss Big Meech, that he's a rat bastard if the paperwork says that, or will you give him the grace? Because here's the thing. I think that, you know, and I think some people, and 1090J could even jump in, some people are saying, bro, he's in his 70s or 60s, whatever. I don't know how old he is.
That doesn't matter. That don't matter.
Some people have been saying that to say, come on, man.
Bro,
come on.
I'm kicking 50 in the ass. I got kids like he got kids. I got a reputation like he got a reputation. 1090 gonna feel the same way. Nobody really that got a set of cojones is gonna give a fuck about that. They gonna read what's on the work.
Oh wow.
Well, at the same time, you know, it's like there's a level of importance to shit like this, because I don't even think you can tally up how many GDs have died behind this shit, right? And what I said in my video,
man, them boys, I remember, like, because I knew some GDs, man, like back in the day. I bumped into some, and like they had like this, and I don't know if this was like applied to Chicago or what, man, but they had these violations that people could get, and like in some of the violations, like the violation, the punishment was like they was taking you out. You know what I'm saying? And like back in the day, they was actually really living by these rules that allegedly, you know, was put in place by Larry Hoover and his people. So I'm pretty sure if you told on somebody, the violation would probably be punishable by, you know, taking you out, chipping you, or doing something to you, you know, violating you however, you know, Larry Hoover and them seeing fit. So with that being said, it would be crazy that all these people was carrying out all of this shit among each other based off of some shit that Larry Hoover and his people put together, and the whole time he didn't already cooperated and told on somebody.
This would be considered breaking the code by any standard, but what about the person that wrote the code?
Now I heard
so people were saying, oh, this was the 60s. That didn't matter back then. What you mean? Almost every gang is based off of the mafia. The mafia was the 20s, 30s, 40s.
Hey, by the way, real quick.
Here's the thing.
Wait. 1090.
A hypocritical shot. How many people was eliminated based upon they told based on the order of the words of that man.
Yeah.
And that's
what I'm saying. So it's like,
and a lot of people kept it solid, even though they should have. But a lot of people kept it solid and didn't tell on him the whole time. They was protecting somebody who possibly told on somebody prior to catching all the mother cases. Like, it's a dirty game, man. We starting to see like all these, all the false idols are being like knocked down, man. I'm not saying that Larry Hoover is what 1090 Jake is alluding to, but I wouldn't be surprised because of all the other people we seen, you know, who happen to be like these guys that everybody was holding up high and had all this respect for him, and not just online. Like, you can think about your real life. If you from the urban areas of America, you know people who was in the streets and who people selectively gave passes, knowing that it was rumors and talked about that this person cooperated before. He didn't cop about 5 or 6 Fed cases. He ain't never really did, you know, a bunch of time, but you know, this person go down and he do like 20 years for his first or second Fed case, and this dude doing like 5 and 6, 7 years, and he keep getting out and going back to jail for the same shit that got this man 20 years. It ain't about no lawyer.
Like, you got all these dudes, right? Because this man was 23 and went to prison in 1973. So the majority of the people DMing me, atting me, doing that shit that's mad as fuck ain't never even met this man. They weren't even alive by the time he went to prison.
Hey, I want to ask.
But my thing is this: what happens when you find out that the person you've believed in and everything, and have crashed out behind, caught bodies behind, represented to the fullest, and you kept it so gangster, you got 7 damn life sentences yourself? What happens when you find out if he told on somebody?
Yeah.
Let me ask both of you this question.
I mean, I ain't no big 1090 Jake fan, but that was a hell of a question. Like, if it's true, I mean, I'm just saying, if it's true, I know we're gonna be mad. People mad because it's a white boy. He trying to say the black man that everybody, you know, is praising, you know, possibly telling and whatnot. But you know, I mean, okay, so I get it, right? But then what if it happens that the white man actually exposed the fact that the man did tell? Then what we gonna say? Then what's gonna be the excuse?
Because this happened to me recently, right? And it's not necessarily that, but okay, yesterday, everybody is in my chat. They're at me on social media. They say, you got to go talk about Rock Nation. And I said, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I usually take every challenge that come towards me. Absol says something, not answer. Lil Baby say something, not answer. Meat Mill say something, not answer. But I'm not going to lie. And again, we're not talking about the streets here. We're talking about even as a
Ah, damn. Act about to tell us he's scared of Rock Nation. Hold on, though, man. All right.
content creator and somebody who's putting out information, and both of y'all do that. When they want me to go against Rock Nation, I said, I got to pick and choose my battles wisely because nobody else will go at Rock Nation. Y'all trying to send me to go get my head cut off. Let me ask you, 1090 Jake, you have all this information, or sometimes you get it, or you look into it and you see what it is. You probably have a barometer of like, people ain't gonna like what you're gonna say if it doesn't go as the narrative they're gonna want to receive. Do you ever say, you know what? If I tell them this, they're not even gonna believe it. They're gonna get more mad at me for bringing it to light. Let me not say it.
I mean, I'm already the most hated, so it's like I just
no, you're not. No, you're not. Get your.
I mean, Wack, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. You got yours, but I'm white though, so I'm gonna get a different level.
You white, that's the list.
It's easier for them to say something about me than you. They're gonna say,
but you know why though? People. Let me tell you why I think I am, because I've been poking the bear longer than you about all kind of shit. So I
think both of y'all hated, and when I say hated, like not player hating though, but like disliked on social media in y'all's own right on 2 totally different levels, but for similar reasons. I think Wack's situation, again, and I hate to bring it back up, but I think Wack's, the dagger in the hate for Wack was like the Nipsey thing. People just like took that and ran with it. prior to that, people disliked Wack for a lot of the stuff he said, but that really turned like a lot of people against him. And I mean, so everything he done after that, they just, it is what it is.
Ain't gonna lie, they hate your motherfucker. You could be my hated, not identical twin brother, but fraternal twin brother. You know what I'm saying? But in this situation, you see what I sent you?
Yeah.
That's me asking that site, where did you get this from? And they admitted where they got it from. Because these people think I gave it to the site. They think I gave it to the site, and then I paid it to respond. That's how I respond. These people got a crazy-ass imagination, bro. It's nuts.
There's always some conspiracy theories behind shit. So that's how shit happens. And it's easier for people to be mad at me and you than to go ahead and figure out the shit for them fucking selves.
And what's crazy is,
man,
bro,
I seen a video earlier today, some GD from Arkansas, some shit, talking about me saying this, that, and the third, saying I'm dumb, and then he couldn't even read the fucking paperwork. This man fucking up his words, so it's like, how am I dumb? You can't even read it. Never mind, go get it.
This might not end well for 1090 Jake though with the GD thing. Unless like he like it's I don't even know. Like somebody might even feel some type of way for the selective politicking. Like, all right, well he exposed the chairman, and even if it was true, but if it's not true, this might not end well for 1090 Jake at all.
And so it's like real act. If I didn't do what I did, it ain't no other voice.
Now, I ain't saying something gonna happen to him. It's just gonna be a credibility thing
out there, unless it's a dude like you, big enough to fight this man in this type of lane. So, but I gotta tread lightly because I can't really go. Only thing I can go at him with is what he's using. But I know it's other pieces out there that he might obtain.
Wait. I'm gonna be honest, and not necessarily for you, but even when so what I was talking about, I started texting 1090 just to be transparent, and everything I consumed, I saw people trying to laugh at 1090, be like, "Yo, we finally got this nigga. He exposed. He really bit off more than he could chew."
That's because of the content I read. But I'm telling you,
but it looked like he might have the work. It looked like.
Listen, before he came on here, I said, because of the content I read, because of the interviewing that dude and what he said to kind of debunk what 1090's what his shit was, right? And the fact that he didn't respond immediately with what I know he probably has lets me know he's just being patient. He's being patient, and he's.
Wack show is saying a lot about what 1090 Jake is doing and what he ain't doing, y'all.
Waiting to get back. What that is. Either way, he has a response. It's just either one could be a little shallow or one could just be an explosion where can't nobody say nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I got a response to his response that he can use today. He know how I'm going to come back. He knows it like I would know how he would come back. But again, he also knows that Wack is handling this shit with white gloves. He knows that too because
wait, Wack, are you handling this with white gloves? Because
I'm definitely handling it with white gloves.
Okay.
Well, we already know why.
Because you probably fuck with a bunch of GDs, and you probably
no. I'm gonna be real. I'm not really too. All the youngsters from Chicago I deal with, they say some disrespectful shit when it comes to these type of people. They don't care. I'm gonna be real. He is kind of, in a way, he's part of that black history, as if like Al Capone or those other dudes are part of their history on the other side of it. But I gotta keep it 100. If it's been under false pretense and 1090 come back with some shit, some real shit, it ain't nothing nobody could say. You can't be mad at him for another person's actions.
I don't know, man. Wack throwing me off right now. Y'all get in the comment section, man. Y'all let me know, man, what's going on with this Larry Hoover situation. Y'all let me know if y'all think Larry Hoover actually cooperated. Y'all let me know if why y'all think Wack is taking we know what he said, but why do y'all feel like Wack is taking a different approach in this, man? And what do y'all think is going to happen with 1090 Jake if what he's saying turns out to be false? Get in the comment section, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. I'll be back with more content, man. Ruler Gang.